Would he be harder to beat than Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think it's a real possibility because what she did was absolutely, in my opinion, illegal, and I don't think she's going to be allowed to run if they have a prosecutor who's going to be honorable. Because if you look at General Petraeus, what he did is nothing compared to what she's done, and his life is in ruins. I mean, what they've done to him is incredible and very, very tough, and what she did is far worse. So I think she's got a big problem with emails, and obviously her numbers are going down drastically. So somebody like Biden could probably go in and do very well and maybe win.
Okay, let's get to your big moment. You've never debated before. Are you ready for this debate? What would you consider a win?
Well, I'm not a debater. These politicians, I always say, they're all talk, no action. They debate all the time. They go out and they debate every night. I don't debate. I've created tremendous jobs. I've built a great company. I do a lot of things, and maybe my whole life is a debate in a way. But the fact is, I'm not a debater. And they are. But with that being said, I look forward to it. We'll see what happens. Who knows?
Okay, you obviously haven't been afraid to attack your opponents on the campaign trail. Now you're going to be on the stage with them. Are you going to be pulling your punches, or?
I don't think I'm going to be throwing punches. I'm not looking to attack. Don't forget, every single
You've
attack
been attacking. I mean, are you going to do it on the stage?
Every attack I made was a counterpunch. I mean, they attacked me first, and I hit them back, and maybe harder than they hit me. But the fact is that I've been attacked pretty viciously by some of these guys, and I have a lot of respect for numerous people on the stage. I will tell you, I have great respect for some of the people on the stage, but I have been attacked, and I counterpunched. I didn't start the attacks.
Okay, well, let's get to some of the more recent ones. I don't know if you saw Jeb Bush while you were in Scotland, kind of dismissed your rise as a phenomenon. And then you had Rand Paul, who said that your surge in the polls is, quote, a temporary loss of sanity.
Well, I mean, he may say that. You know, he's very weak on the military. He's very weak on defense, and I think that's probably hurt him very badly. I think he's a nice guy. I've contributed a lot of money to his cause, where he goes around as a doctor, and he goes around and takes care of some very seriously ill people and helps them out, and I've made a lot of contributions, so I was a little bit surprised to hear him say that, and maybe it was built up by the press, but I would say that I was a little surprised to hear Rand say that, but if he feels that, that's okay with me.
Okay, so let me get to, you've been very harsh in your assessment of Jeb Bush, especially. But let's look at back what you wrote in your book, The America We Deserve. You said of Jeb Bush, he is exactly the kind of political leader this country needs now and will very much need in the future. He's bright, tough, and principled. And not just Jeb Bush. Of Hillary Clinton, you said, just in 2012, she's a terrific woman, works hard, and I think she does a good job. George Pataki, you said, was the most underrated guy in American politics. Rick Perry, you said, is a very effective governor. Texas is lucky to have him. I mean, now you've declared Hillary the worst Secretary of State ever, Pataki the worst governor of New York ever, and you said Rick Perry's too dumb maybe to be in the debate.
It's a very simple answer to that. I was a businessman all my life. I made a tremendous fortune. I had to deal with politicians, and I would contribute to them, and I would deal with them, and certainly I'm not going to say bad things about people because I needed their support to get projects done. I needed their support for lots of things, or I may have needed their support, to put it another way. I mean, you're not going to say horrible things and then go in a year later and say, listen, could I have your support on this project or this development or this business? So I say nice about almost everybody, and I contributed to people because I was a smart businessman. I built a tremendous company, and I did that based on relationships. Now I'm no longer a businessman. Now I'm somebody that wants to make our country great. And the tone is too weak. You know, they're telling me and Jeb, and I understand what he's saying. He said the tone. And Hillary used the exact same word, the tone of Trump. Well, we need a tough tone. They're beheading our people. I mean, they're beheading Christians. The world is going crazy.
Well, your opponents aren't beheading anybody.
Excuse me. Yeah. No, but you know what? The tone has to be tougher. If we're going to stop ISIS, if we're going to clean up the border and stop what's happening at the border, which is a disaster, which I was very proud to have brought up and took a lot of heat the first week. Now everyone's apologizing to me because they see that I was right. But we need a tougher tone. We can't have that tone anymore. We need a strong tone, and we need tremendous enthusiasm. And as you understand, Jeb doesn't have that strong tone, and he doesn't have that level of enthusiasm that you need to make our country great again. I feel strongly. But as a businessman, I support everybody. I supported everybody, and I did very well doing it.
So let me ask you about something you tweeted last year. You said of Barack Obama, sadly, because President Obama has done such a poor job as president, you won't see another black president for generations. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think he's been a very poor president. I think he has done a very poor job as president. We have $18 trillion right now in debt and going up rapidly.
But what did you mean?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
The world is we don't have victories anymore. China is killing us on trade. Mexico is killing us at the border and also killing us on trade. Mexico is doing unbelievably against us on trade. You look at what's going on with Japan. You look at what's going on with Vietnam. You look at Saudi Arabia, makes $1 billion a day, and we defend them. We get nothing.
I understand your critique, but why do you say that means we won't see another black president for generations?
Because I think that he has set a very poor standard. I think that he has set a very low bar, and I think it's a shame for the African American people. And by the way, he has done nothing for African Americans. You look at what's gone on with their income levels. You look at what's gone on with their youth. I thought that he would be a great cheerleader for this country. I thought he'd do a fabulous job for the African American citizens of this country. He has done nothing. They are worse now than just about ever.
But you...
Excuse me. They have problems now in terms of unemployment numbers. Look at their unemployment numbers. And you have a black president who's done very poorly for the African Americans in this country. And I think that I will win the African American vote, and I think I will win the Hispanic vote. And if you see the recent polls that came out, John, you'll see that because I'm leading in the Hispanic vote.
All right, we're almost out of time. I want to go through a couple of lightning round quick questions to get a sense of what a Trump presidency would look like. First of all, Supreme Court. Who's your model for a Supreme Court nomination?
Well, I have a number of people that I like, but I will say this. When it comes to the Supreme Court, I'd want high intellect and I'd want very conservative. I would like really high intellect and very conservative.
Would President Trump authorize waterboarding and other enhanced interrogation techniques, even torture?
I would be inclined to be very strong when people are chopping off other people's heads and then we're worried about waterboarding and we can't, because I have no doubt that works. I have absolutely no doubt.
So you'd bring back waterboarding.
You mentioned waterboarding, which was such a big subject. I haven't heard that term in a year now, because when you see the other side chopping off heads, waterboarding doesn't sound very severe.
Okay, I want to get a sense of what a Trump cabinet looks like. So very quickly, throw out a couple names. Secretary of State, who could we see? Who would you consider?
I wouldn't want to put any names out there right now. I think it's far too early. I want to see, and I'm certainly looking at the field, and there's certainly some tremendous people that we could put in, but it would be somebody that's very strong, very smart, and you know what else would be important? Very energetic. You need a lot of energy.
In the last running mate, Sarah Palin said some very nice things about you. You've said nice things about her. Will you consider her as a possible running mate?
Well, I don't think she'd want to be considered, and the answer is, you know, I like Sarah Palin a lot. I think Sarah Palin's gotten a very unfair press. I think the press has treated her very unfairly. But I would pick somebody that would be a terrific, you know, you have to view it as really who would be a good president in case something happened. But there are many, many people out there that I think would be very good.
Last question, very quickly. Reince Priebus, chairman of the party, has said that all candidates should pledge not to run as a third party if they don't win the nomination. Will you take that pledge this morning? Will you pledge not to run as a third-party candidate?
I will tell you this. I am leading in every poll, and in some cases by a tremendous margin, and people are a little bit surprised, but I'm not surprised. And people that know me aren't surprised because they see what's going on with this country. If I'm treated fairly by, and don't win, but if I'm treated fairly by the Republican Party, I would have no interest in doing that. If I am not treated fairly by the Republican Party, I very well might consider that, and I would certainly not give that up.
Okay, Donald Trump, thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, 17 Republican candidates are trying to get on that debate stage this week. One of them is Rick Santorum. He won the Iowa caucuses last time, received 4 million votes overall, and was the runner-up to Mitt Romney. Senator Santorum.